In today's video, we are going to be tearing down this 5.9 liter V8 Magnum engine. If you guys have been with the channel for a little bit, you'll know that this engine came out of our 97 Dodge Ram 1500 SST. We don't know the full story on it. This engine was already removed from the vehicle, but story goes that this engine had a Novi 2000 supercharger on it, was, you know, a built truck for the drag strip, had a separate standalone engine management system, had return style fuel rails, had the works on it. So everything for the era that it was built, like let's say 97 to 99. We actually found a slip in the glove box. This thing ran like a 13 something, so it definitely wasn't no hot time, but apparently something happened to the engine. We don't know what's happened. I ended up trying to turn it over and it seems like it's hitting some sort of spot. The guy that I bought it off of, he said that he thinks dropped a valve of some sorts, but just looking inside, it does have some aftermarket adjustable rockers in there. So I'm kind of curious to see what this thing all has. Just from the outside, if you guys are curious, it's got the Mopar headers. So it actually has the Mopar part numbers, and these are actually carb certified for back in the day. There's the part number there. So it's got those. It's got the Mopar M1 intake, which a lot of people are after these days. So you can see there it says Mopar, even though it's needs to be cleaned up. But what we're gonna do, let's start getting some stuff out of the way. Like I said, so this is gonna be new for all of us to see what's going on in here. We're gonna take off the valve covers, start there. We'll take off the intake, and maybe we'll pull the heads today. We'll see how far we get. Let's get into it. Okay, so I got a lot of the junk off the top. There's just old wiring harness, old hoses, all that kind of stuff. And I got a nice pile starting over here. So I got the old fuel lines off, a bunch of wiring, a lot of it's cut, a lot of it's looks like some mice have gotten at it, some old hoses, and we've got the old spark plug wires and a destroyed cap. So now what I'm gonna do is, before I start opening things up, not that it really matters, but I guess I'll try to be as clean as possible. All this dirt and junk and all this stuff over here, I'm gonna go ahead and just shop vac all this out, because I don't need to excessively be dropping stuff into the engine, even though it's even though it needs to be rebuilt. I don't need to be just dropping sand in there willingly. So let me shop vac all this stuff out, and then we'll take off the valve covers and see our first clue. So I cleaned out all the junk. Let's go ahead and pop off the valve cover. So I don't know. Start commenting down below what you guys think we're gonna find in this thing. I honestly could not tell you. Well, definitely got some nice components in it. I don't see anything blatantly obvious on this side just yet. Toss these off to the side. So it's got 1.6 rockers in it. I'm not sure of the brand. Oh, I do see something, you guys. I spoke too soon. I think that's a keeper right there. Oh, there it is. So it was hiding right there, but yeah, you can see it. So this valve must have dropped the valve, I'm guessing. The keeper's here, but the valve is up, so some sort of mystery here for sure. Keeper's here, but the valve is up. So I'm guessing maybe it dropped and then it slammed it back up, but that's definitely no bueno. Let's pop the other one open and see what happens. There we go on the other side. So I'm curious to see what that head's gonna look like underneath. Yeah, oh, this one definitely dropped. So it definitely dropped the valve on this side. Whoa. Somebody didn't know what they're doing with this engine, it looks like. So this one most certainly dropped the valve, because you can see the valve is down and the keepers are here. And yeah, that's probably not going to be pretty once we pull the head off, but this is part of the fun. So let's keep going here. Let's take off this intake manifold. intake is off. Okay, so we just got the intake off, and I'm pretty sure this is a piston ring, you guys. I don't know how it is sitting here, if it was somehow lodged in the intake or something, but that's definitely a piston ring. So we are in for a treat once we get into this thing. And look at this. Oh, look at this, you guys. That looks like a chunk of a top of a piston. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. There is just piston all on top of that valve there, and this one didn't even drop a valve. So somebody epically grenaded this motor. But let's keep going. So I'm gonna go ahead. I might as well pull these heads are probably gonna be screwed, so I might as well pull these headers off, and then I'll proceed to take off the heads. Okay, so headers are off. Let's take a peek. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. I don't see any shrapnel in the exhaust ports so far on that side. Everything looks mostly normal here on the exhaust. It's just the intake that definitely saw some love. So let's pull the heads, you guys, and see what is going on. Oh, look at this. I didn't even see this. This was underneath the gasket. This is one of the pins. That's that pin right there. It worked its way all the way over there to that side. This guy must have had this thing running for a while with this. Jeez, like for that to make it all the way over here. Look at that. And more pieces for the roller. Not good. Like this thing must have just been detonating or something. Like even this one's got like, this one was starting to go. You can see the little fracture in it. So I don't even know if these rockers are any good anymore. I don't even know what brand they are. I'm not seeing any stamps on it, but comment down below if you guys know what brand of rockers these might be. All right, so I cracked all the bolts loose for the heads, so now I'm just gonna zip them off with the gun, and then we'll be able to see what is going on in here. If you guys do or don't know, these heads are not light. They're like 70 pounds a piece or something like that. I'm not even bothering to take the rockers out at this point. It's just everything is messed up. Oh. Oh my. I don't know if you guys can see that from here. Oh, jeez. I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it. Jeez. I don't even know where the piston is, you guys. That's like a piston delete. It is like just completely gone. That is hilarious. Piston delete kit. Yeah, that's definitely no good. How could you possibly run this that long? Like how do you run this that long where you completely delete your piston? This is mind-boggling to me. That is too funny. Okay, and looking over here, this valve just completely disintegrated. So it definitely dropped this valve. It's just funny how up top, the valve stem is up here just like chilling all perfectly normal, even though I guess this is loose. But I don't know why this is so amusing to me, but this is exciting, you guys. Let's go ahead and pull this one and see what's going on. This is hilarious. But even here, like, there's chunks of piston here. Like this one was letting go too. Like this thing was just, somebody put the bring a trailer tune in this thing and sent it, I guess. Like this whole side of the piston's gone right there. I don't know if you guys can see that there. The whole side of the piston there is gone. All right, let me go ahead and we'll zip this head off, you guys. I have no idea what to expect after looking at that side. I think this side might be worse. Oh, this is entertaining. I almost feel like doing this on a more regular, not this, but buying messed up engines just to see what the heck went wrong. It's like a hidden story. Somebody definitely loaded the Bring a Trailer tune on this one and then sent it. And based on the slips that we found in the truck, it was only like a 13 second quarter mile. So, alright, I think we are free. Let's see what kind of hilarious damage this one has. Let's see. Push rods everywhere! So now I almost feel like we're going to be disappointed based on the entertainment that we saw on the other side, but this side just has chunks of aluminum everywhere, and I don't know what's going on underneath all that rust, but probably nothing healthy. This one, you can definitely see some love taps there. If you look at the head, there's chunks of aluminum stuck in this valve, and this one's hanging open. And this is the one that I believe was making contact. So, I don't know. There's all kinds of weird mysteries going on in this thing. Unless it skipped timing or something and grenaded. But comment down below what you guys think may or may not have happened. But either way, this thing is like absolutely totaled. So just for fun, let's see if we can turn this over now. Because before, if you guys watched the video when I kind of pulled this thing out from the back of the truck, I could not turn it over. It would get a little bit of movement and then it would stop. But let's see if we can get a full revolution out of it, or if there's more going on underneath. And we'll go from there. Wow, she's like brand new, boys. Just throw some pistons in it and call it a day. Oh, you know what, actually? Oh, no, that one's moving. Everything's moving on this side. Why is it stopping? No, she still comes to a dead stop. You think the rod's bent after all that? Let's see. I don't know how well you guys can see in there. Oh yeah, there's some damage in there. Okay, so something's still catching in there, you guys. I can see some like metal shrapnel in there, which obviously isn't that surprising. But let's go ahead and pull off this oil pan and see what we see. Don't know if there's any oil in it, but I might as well drain it out before making a big mess. And also maybe see if we see any exciting material come out. Sure, if there's any oil in this thing anymore, if they didn't already drain it, that there's probably or maybe there's just a lot of water. Oh my gosh, you guys, this just keeps getting more and more fun. No, I guess they drained the oil, but there's a ton of water in here now. So thanks to my good buddy Clay Milliken, he gave me this pan, this drip pan at SEMA. And I figured I would use it for something, and right now it's coming in perfect. So let me roll this engine over. Let's take the pan off. This is gonna make a nasty mess, you guys. Hopefully this works out for us. Ew. Ew. Alright, now we got a mess to clean up for sure. Alright, let's finally take this oil pan off. I had to clean up a major mess after that, so I'll zip her off. This thing doesn't have anything good in it. We're pretty much gonna scrap it. I don't think it's worth really anything worth saving off the block portion of it or the heads. The Mopar parts are good, but that's about it at this point. If you guys are wondering what this is off the oil pan here, it's for the supercharger because it was oil lubricated. So it's the return line for the supercharger. Oh man. All the piston and everything is pretty much in here, boys. Okay, so that would explain why it doesn't turn over. All of the chunks of the piston
that evaporated are getting stuck in the crank here. And the crank is just getting beat up trying to just chew through it. I really wonder, you guys, how long somebody was running this thing for, because this is insane. Like, here's all the oil rings from the pistons just chilling here, along with chunks of the piston. It's just catastrophically messed up. Like, this is all just chunks of metal just getting lodged in here. And this stuff does not smell good. I know I can't get smells to come through YouTube, at least in 2022, but it is not a good smell coming out of all this. I can't even believe I'm sticking my fingers in here. I'm gonna have to, probably gonna be stinking for a week after this. Like, look at this, just parts of ring everywhere. This is screwed, you guys. This is absolutely screwed. On the positive side of things, at least the dipstick is good, because you guys know that our other Dakota RT was missing the dipstick, so I got a good dipstick out of it at least. So I think that there might be some valve work. I think the intake valves might be a little bit bigger than stock. So these are showing roughly like 51 millimeter, which I think is a little bit bigger than stock. But let me know if that's a stock spec. But so what I'm gonna do now is start stripping some stuff. So I'm gonna take the engine mounts off in case we ever decide to put the 5.9 Magnum into our SST. Also gonna take off our dampener and our timing cover and see what camshaft is in it. I think there's probably an aftermarket cam in there if I had to guess. So maybe we can see if there's anything worth saving there, and just kind of strip this thing down. I don't think it's anything special. I don't see anything special. Looks like cast rods. Really nothing worth saving. So I was thinking maybe it had a 408 stroker in it, just since everything else was kind of built on this. But yeah, she is absolutely mangled. All right, so I ended up taking off the balancer, took off the timing cover, and it's just a stock cam in here. So it just has the OEM part number there and then the year 96. So this is obviously the original engine for this 97 SST. It's a 360, but it's all stock. So there really isn't anything to save on it. I might take the flex plate off it just since it's poorly modified to fit the 727, but at least I can kind of have something to go by. And then the rest of it, I think I'm just gonna scrap. So obviously with that rod bouncing around in there with the wrist pin, it kind of did some damage to the cylinder. If you really wanted to, you could probably salvage this block. Like, it's not that bad, but what's the point, honestly? It just, I mean, it's just an old 5.9. If I really wanted another 5.9, I could get one that's already in running condition and freshen that one up, rather than this one that's had a mill going through it with just chunking through metal. I have no idea how long these guys ran it like this for, but probably not good. I don't even know if the crank would be balanced at this point with it just churning through all of this metal and taking chunks out of things and just scraping stuff, because like I said, it's they let it kind of go through the grinder here. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of here because it's making a mess, and salvage the good parts, scrap the block, and we'll move on. And real quick before we wrap up, I decided to completely take out the crank, the rods, all that stuff, and just keep the block. Since the block is the same date code as the truck, I guess I'll keep the block at least. But really wasn't too much more to see, you guys. The crank's out, rods are out, pistons are out, and all that stuff is just trashed. All right, you guys, so what do you guys think of all this? Is it the destruction that you guys had anticipated? I literally had no idea what we were getting into by tearing this thing apart, but she has lived a rough life. So like you guys saw on the oil pan right there, there was a return line for a supercharger. So this thing did have boost on it. I thought maybe it would be a built engine since the thing had a standalone engine management system and apparently had a supercharger on it. Had all these bolt-on goodies, the Mopar M1 intake, the Mopar headers, the valve covers. Somebody spent some money on it. Obviously, they also put the 1.6 roller rockers in there. But I already know a bunch of people are going to be hitting me up for parts. I'm not going to be getting rid of this stuff for cheap, if at all, because
A lot of these parts, well, not a lot of these, all these parts are no longer made. They're discontinued. So the Mopar M1 intake, I know that that's worth quite a bit of money, as well as the headers and the fact that those headers are carb legal. So I don't know, maybe if somebody comes to me with a offer I can't refuse, I will get rid of some of this stuff. I still have a sticker that's on the radiator support for those Mopar headers that says that they're carb legal. So if somebody made me a really good offer, I could actually take a picture of the sticker and they could be compliant in some of these states that are a little bit more picky on some of the stuff. You guys could almost have like a mid-length header that's fully carb legal. But anyways, I'll just throw that out there. Again, let me know what you think of this whole thing. Would you scrap this block or would you keep it? I'm leaning more towards just getting rid of it because I got so much stuff around here. And I might actually pick up another long block 5.9 that's in good shape, because we also have the Dakota RT out there that we picked up that's making a little bit of noise and I'm not sure what it is. So either way, that's going to be it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out all the other content on this channel. We'll see you guys on the next video.